everyone, welcome to NDTV Profit. This is Mika Barve and with me is Harsh Saita. Now, with the budget less than a week away and around 40% of Indian investors being under the age of 30, I think it's key to know what the youth is expecting from the budget. And that's exactly why we're here today at NMIMS and we're going to be speaking to the first and second year MBA students. Harsh, how are you feeling? What do you think?
It's going to be super exciting because this is actually, in essence, where a large chunk of the Indian population as well as the new Indian voter is coming from, and therefore to try and understand what the real expectations are is going to be real good fun. So let me first though start off with the faculty here. Let me try and understand from them, from of course slightly older generation, as to what their take is. Let me first start with you, ma'am. So first off, thank you for doing this. Want to understand your take, your maybe 2 or 3 key asks from Modi 3.0's first budget.
All right. So the first thing I would ask is growth for the economy, and for that, a prudent investment is required, and also supportive policies for MSME sector.
Right, extremely interesting. That is the first take from our teachers, and let me take it to you, sir. Sir, your key 2-3 insights on what you feel should come out of this budget.
So, my colleague, what she has said about as far as the fiscal deficit, etc., is concerned, that is of course important. But one thing which I would like this particular budget to concentrate on is how to have the apprenticeship program in SMEs, which will allow the young people to be ready for the kind of industries, etc., which are going to come up now, and they should be able to prosper.
Well, we've heard from the faculty, but now let's get to the students. And, let's start off with you. Just tell me your name and your age.
Oh, so my name is Shaurya Gupta and my age is 23 years.
Okay. Let me start off with what is your one key expectation from the upcoming budget?
Okay, so as we can see that the headline inflation is within the upper band limit of RBI at around 5%, but the food inflation has shot up, it is around 9.3%. Now what government can do is they can provide tax reductions on certain raw materials that are required by farmers in agriculture, like ammonia paste, which are still taxed at 18%. So that can reduce the cost for farmers and can have a cool down effect on inflation.
Let's talk to some more students, and we'll start off with you. Please tell us your name and your age.
I am Muskan Goyal, I'm 25 years old. So one expectation was sitting in a college, and I believe that in India there's a dearth of college. There's not many colleges. We've gone through a process to be here. So if we can see an increase in education budget, which can add to more in quantity and quality of education system in India, especially in higher education, and of course linking to the rural education and the primary education, then would be a good balance.
Okay, let's talk about some more expectations and start with your age and your name, and let us know one thing you want the upcoming budget to maybe focus on.
So my name is Naman Wishlist and I am 27 years old. So my expectation from the upcoming budget would be to boost R&D spending, which is to about 1.2 or 1.2% of GDP, which is just as of now is about 0.8% of GDP.
Very interesting. So the awareness level seems to be quite high here. We've spoken about a whole plethora of issues and we've got a ton of students to go through. So I'm going to quickly go to the next one. Buddy, your name and your expectation.
Yeah. Hi, I am Charchit Agarwal and I'm a first year student, MBA core. And from what I expect the budget is to basically increase the allocation of budget towards the education sector, because currently what we have is around 2.93% of our GDP as like the investment in the education sector as a percentage of GDP is around 2.93%. While if you want to align with the global sectors, it's more about 6%. So this is something that I think needs to be addressed in this budget.
We've been getting some key insights and we have more students very keen on talking about what they expect. So let's start off with you. What's your name and what is your one expectation from the budget?
Sure. So I'm Laraj, I'm 23, and as the Indian economy is going through a recession and there are not enough job opportunities for highly qualified youth, so I would like government to focus more on the startup ecosystem, provide them reasonable funding so that they can create more job opportunities in the country, and it can help in recovering the economy.
Thank you. Let's move on to you. Yes.
So my name is Aditya, I'm 21 years old. So I think the budget 2024 is a very important one. So following the interim budget, this budget could provide greater insight on artificial intelligence and IoT, Internet of Things.
Let me come to you.
So my name is Gautam Thakur, and the department or the area which I would like to, investments to increase is especially in defense. Considering that we already have a major chunk of the entire budget in defense, I would like to see a more focus towards R&D, because a lot of our expenditure is into imports and different machineries and vehicles from external countries. Why don't we take initiative and get them done in our country directly?
Can I come to you?
Yeah, my name is Shivansh, and my expectation from the budget is more resources should be allocated towards renewable sources. Though in the interim budget, 1 lakh crore was allotted towards the solar energy, yet the power sector continues to invest in the traditional sectors. And with climate change being such a rampant factor in our lives, I think more allocation towards the renewable sources will really benefit us.
Very interesting. Talking about where energy sources should really come from for the next generation all the way to 2047.
Yes, domestic manufacturing, higher education has been a key focus, and let's get some more insights. Hi, your name and your age.
My name is Kriti Kalra. I am 22 years old. Deduction on health insurance premiums has remained unchanged for the past 9 years, even though the healthcare costs have gone up. So in this budget, we are expecting some hike on deduction of premiums. For individuals, right now the limit is 25,000. So we are expecting it to exceed to at least 50,000, and for elderly, it's just 50,000. So we can expect a hike to 1 lakh.
Okay, well, there you go. Some better support for insurers. And let's get on with you. Your name, your age, and your expectation for the upcoming budget.
Yeah, hi. My name is Rishabh. I'm 26 years old. So my expectations from the budget would be a bit on the direct taxes side. The standard deduction hasn't been increased from 1.5 lakhs for quite a long time. We're expecting it to increase to at least 2 lakhs. The old regime and the new regime, there was a difference that was created last time the budget came out between an old regime and a new regime. People thought that new regime would be better, so the people who were in the old regime wanted to shift to the new regime. So we are expecting that some benefits will be given to people who are in the old regime as well.
Well, there's so much awareness. There's also tax law being discussed here and individual taxation. Despite we speaking to a bunch of college students, so the awareness seems to be high. Let's come straight to you, sir.
So my name is Abhijit Sharma, and I'm 24 years old. So I think with this budget, there should be an increased spending in the defense sector. I have a similar view to Gautam's. So I think majority of the portion of the defense budget that we currently have goes to the salary and compensations of the current employees. It leaves less amount of spending for actual purchasing of defense equipments. So I think there's a factor that requires at least 10 to 15% of increase in the current budget.
Good. That's good to hear. Come on.
Hi, my name is Qasim Hussain. I'm 22 and I want to talk about the pharma industry. So I've been following it from a while, and a very major issue here is that MNCs are finding it hard to get into research and development. So even for major illnesses, India is finding it hard as a whole to get into research and development. Subsidies are required here.
Well, it's interesting because essentially the youth is not just asking for free, for free SOPs. What they're essentially asking for is for the government to invest in R&D as well, which is very interesting.
Yes, and with R&D comes domestic manufacturing.
Yes.
That seems to be a key focus over here. And let's move on to you. Please tell me your name, your age, and your one expectation from the upcoming budget.
So my name is Om Vyas. My age is 22 years old, and I think one thing which we should expect and which we might already expect is some relief or some changes in the tax structure.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to the next student. Hi, your name, your age, and your one expectation from the upcoming budget.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Archit Save. I'm 26 years old. Being a management student and also being a budding entrepreneur, my expectation is to let go away with the angel tax. As we see, we have a lot of budding startups coming up in India, and currently government is taxing 30% as angel tax. And this is causing a big hindrance for the startups to source funding from the foreign investors as well as domestic investors.
All right, let me come to you. Give us your name, your age, and your expectations.
Hi, my name is Harnish Chavla. I am 23 years old, and the expectation which I have with the government is that I want them to increase their spending in research and development, because if we see currently our spending is less than 1%, and we see as opposed to other developed countries like South Korea, they spend upwards of 4% of their GDP on their research and development.
Hello, my name is Niyati and I'm 24 years old.
healthcare is one of India's largest sectors and it is growing continuously. The government is aiming to reach 2.5% of its GDP invested in healthcare over by 2025. To achieve this, the government should focus more on integrating technology into the integration of technology in the healthcare space.
Right, very interesting. Ma'am, let me come to you.
Hi, I'm Satvika. I'm 25 years old. So I'm an engineer pursuing my MBA. So naturally, I'm very curious to know about the advent of AI. I feel in today's age, AI should be recognized as a sector in itself. I'm curious to know what the budget holds for that. AI can really help us propel innovations in healthcare, education, and agriculture. So I'm looking forward to the budget.
Let's shift focus though to equity markets, because I think the viewers will also be really interested to understand how the youth of India, most of them being below the age of 25, maybe just one I heard was 26, but outside of that everyone under the age of 25, and therefore very interesting to see what they feel about investing. So if we can quickly take a quick poll from all of y'all, how many of y'all invest in equities?
Just raise your hand.
Just show of hands.
That's what
Right, nearly everyone, maybe just a couple of hands here not raised. Very interesting. And how many of you all fundamental investors? All right.
This is on fundamental, yes.
Okay, and what about FNO and technical investors? Okay, very, very interesting.
Let's take it up, yes. Let's start with this. Do you invest?
Yes, I do invest, but majorly I trade.
You trade?
Yes.
Okay. And when you do trade, do you think your risk appetite is more, or you're little more, moderate in terms of your risk-taking capacities?
I am a moderate trader. I do not take so much risk, but I tend to ensure my risk reward remains 2:1.
And do you have investments in other modes like gold?
No, I do not invest in gold as of now.
Okay. Let's take it to some other people. Do you invest?
Yes, ma'am, I do invest. And being a very conservative investor, I try to diversify my portfolio. For example, being a youth, I'd almost invest 50% into equity. I try to balance it by investing more 20% into bonds, fixed deposits, and also 10% around in the gold.
Plenty of investors, all investing, at least one of them investing from his own income. So very interesting. Let me come to you. Aditya, if I'm not wrong. Okay, excellent. So Aditya, tell us, where do you invest and what got you into investing?
So what got me into investing is, being a commerce student, I like numbers, so I read the stock market before investing, and my favorite thing is to invest in diverse sectors, and out of which if I have to select would be the banking sector. So I focus more on the banking sectors and also Bank Nifty.
All right, so which banks do you like right now?
Currently it would be HDFC Bank and the ICICI Bank.
Okay, and why do you like them?
So ICICI Bank is now going to be the key factor in the UPI sector, so they would be the primary holders of the UPI, so the at ICICI Bank. So yeah, I think ICICI is a good one, and HDFC of course is in top 3 private banks, so it would be my favorite stock.
Okay, excellent. What about you, sir?
So yes, I invest in equity markets. Yeah, so currently I am bullish on the automobile sector. So because we can see that there is a premiumization trend going on automobile two-wheelers. So the companies like Hero or Bajaj, even who are the market leader in entry-level segment, they are manufacturing more and more premium two-wheelers. So the profit margins of these companies are expected to rise, and if they even trade on similar PE levels, the prices will automatically rise because of rise in the earnings.
Interesting. So fundamental research, is that how you go about?
Yeah, fundamental research.
Okay, how do you generate capital if you're a fundamental analyst?
So the capital can be generated, for example, if we invest a sum today, the capital will be generated over a period of time.
Sure.
So, yeah.
But how do you make your first investment? From what capital?
So right now, like decently, we all have some decent amount of money on our bank because we were doing a summer internship, so we got a decent amount of money in form of stipend. So yeah.
All right. So very interesting, Mihika. We've started covering sectors now.
Yes, yeah. And they are students. There seems to many people who've also, kind of up in the market, but in terms of more complicated aspects. I saw you raise your hand for F&O trading. How did you get into it? And, how is it for a long-term perspective or surely short-term?
So coming from medical background, I had no idea what stocks are, but my father motivated me to invest in stock market. So when I started, I used to do swing trading, but recently I've started doing trades in FNO. So as of now, I do only in Nifty because that's a safe option. But yes, it's going to be long term because it's risky, so I am taking it slowly.
And how did you get the capital to invest? And especially when, in a segment like FNO trading, like you said, it is risky. So how do you kind of manage that?
So in the beginning, I took some money from my father, and with swing trading, I generated some profit, and now I am reinvesting that profit in FNO.
Okay. Yes, you have even people getting into the more complicated aspects, and let's move on to it. Do you invest?
I do invest. What got me into investing was my grandfather. He's a proper investor, and I have seen shares worth 10 rupees going up till 700 as well. And me buying those shares at 700, he used to tell me that, why did you buy it at 700? I have those shares and I bought them for 10 rupees as well. So yeah, my goal was purely to just invest for long term. I have many stocks that are purely just kept for the long-term goals, and there are some stocks that I sell quickly because the return is good enough. Then I reinvest the profit and the money for something better.
Okay. So your investment strategies also for the long term, but also your short-term profits to help your long-term benefits.
Well, very interesting. Whole host of or a lot of types of investors also getting uncovered here. Let me come to you, sir. Tell me.
Yes, I do invest, and I invest for long term to generate my wealth in the longer term. And I started investing because for my undergrad I was a chemical engineer, and I got interested in the chemical sector, and that's how I started investments.
Okay, so predominantly do you focus only on chemicals, or do you also buy other sectors?
So I started off only with chemical, and then it moved on to the various sectors. Currently my favorite sector is banking and other manufacturing sectors, especially with the Make in India focus.
So what do you think of the specialty chemical sector right now? It's in the dumps. So, is it time to buy?
Yes, I think it's time to buy now, because especially with after COVID and there was a stocking up in chemicals throughout the world. So now once the destocking is done, this is the time I think we should buy all the chemicals.
When do you expect the destocking to get complete, and when do you expect the sector to turn around?
So most of the companies have said that the destocking is done between this quarter and the next quarter. So I think the sector should start turning off in the later half of this year.
Well, they know their stuff. Okay, let me come to you.
I also invest. I invest for both short term and long term. My favorite sector is defense.
Okay, defense, but defense has given very good returns. Are you still buying defense?
Yes.
Oh wow, so what?
I'm holding defense.
You're holding defense, but you're not buying, no fresh positions. No. And are you into trading or investing?
I am into investing.
Okay, and what defense stocks have you bought, and at what valuations, if I can ask? I'm not asking you for quantity, just the valuation.
So my current major holding is HAL, and I bought it at the price of 3,000.
Okay.
It is currently at around 50 to 5,300.
Okay, let me come to you. Any investments you make, whether equities or gold?
No, I just invest in equities. Recently, I've just been investing in one company for a long time. It's been J&K Bank. So, yeah, I do know a little about the banking industry, and specifically when it comes to this company, I feel after Article 360, there has been so much boom in Jammu and Kashmir, and so that reflects in the price of this company. So, if I'm not wrong, I bought this stock at about 30. It's 120 right now.
Got it. Very interesting.
Very interesting. The investors here know their stuff, and it's primarily been equities all from what I've heard. Let's start with you. Do you invest, and in what modes?
Yes, I definitely invest. I invest in equities, mutual funds, and gold as well. And basically I invest through opportunities in equities. Like I find opportunities in fundamentally good stocks. For example, Polycab recently had a news about the income tax raid, but we definitely know it was just about 1,000 CR, and the company is around 50,000 CR. So that was a really good opportunity to buy. Then same happened with Kotak Bank. There was just some technical glitches and there were some questions. But then again the stock price dropped massively and I purchased.
You mentioned you invest based on terms of opportunity. So sector-wise, where do you think the opportunity lies right now in the market?
I think opportunities really lie in the defense sector right now and the public sector stocks, as the government is really focusing, and I'm looking up to the budget as well.
Well, defense is something that we see is a fan favorite, and the youth is bullish on this. Do you invest?
Yes, I do invest. I do invest in equity. The sector that I look forward to is pharma, I feel. I think India is now the second largest manufacturers of APIs. So pharma has an immense potential in both export. So sector that I look forward is to pharma and public sector units.
Are there any companies that specifically within the pharma, because there's a diverse range of companies you have there?
Ajanta Pharma is doing really well. RPG Life Sciences is doing well. So like these two companies to look out for.
Okay, thank you. Do you invest, and with what modes?
Mainly mutual funds, especially in the debt and equities. So I feel like right now green energy is something which is really popular, and given how our infrastructure growth has been, investing in both infrastructure as well as green energy is really important for not only our sustainability but also ensuring profitability over time.
Yeah, but when you talk about green hydrogen, there's still a lot of room for growth, but still years down the line. Yeah. And you mentioned mutual funds. So do you feel sectoral mutual funds are where your preference is at, or do you want a mutual fund that is more diversified in nature?
Absolutely. I feel like infrastructure and green energy sector, these are the funds we should be focusing on, especially with the growth aspect. And overall, we can have multiple ways of investing, but a sectoral or a thematic approach is much better, as it helps you capitalize the potential and the strong points of a particular sector.
But do you think there's some kind of risk when, there's something happening in the sector that is not so positive for it? So doesn't that take a toll on your investments?
Absolutely. That risk is always there, especially given for green energy financing, our relationship with other geopolitical nations such as the Middle East, that is very strong. So there's a very high possibility that we do not shift to green energy over the next 20 or 30 years. So as a result, there are risks involved, but as is with life, risks are always important to gain profitability.
Okay.
Right, and do you feel valuations are a little on the higher side, especially in this space, especially since 2020, since COVID, where ESG investing became really big?
Absolutely. I feel like valuations right now are slightly higher than what they should be. But ideally, over time, the markets would correct themselves. And probably in the next 10 years, I feel like most people would realize that these valuations are absolutely correct.
Got it. And so are you buying right now, or are you holding whatever you've bought?
Right now I'm holding. I'm still waiting for the government policies to get much more mature, much more focused in a particular area, and only then I would start investing again.
Very interesting. So there was a generation, Mika, which both of us haven't seen that, but there was a generation which felt that the stock market was all about satta, right? And it seems that the next generation wants to participate in the economy.
Yes.
And what better way to participate than financialization of savings, and that's exactly what's really playing out. So just talking about how our interaction has gone, it's been informative, it's been fun, and we've been able to capture exactly what we wanted, which is that the youth is well aware of what the budget expectations should be and what their return expectations are from markets.
And they also seem very well researched in what they're investing. They know where their money is worth. And that's what we've seen. We've seen some common themes emerge when it comes to budget expectations as well as investing patterns. And, when it comes to budget expectations, themes like tax, higher education was something key, and it is going to be. We are speaking to students here. Even when we spoke, to them about their investing goals, it's long term, but they're not shared to do something short term.
Absolutely. But with that, completely out of time on this one from Mika, myself, and everyone who put the show together. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you everyone for coming in and spending time with us.